Here we are.
What a game.
This is for the filter in, folks. I don't know how many people will actually be in the filter in today after that game. But I don't want to say it on here. I'll text you guys. But we may have special guests on Saturday morning that we would be excited about during the pod.
Interesting.
Don't want to give it away.
Can't even imagine who that would be.
Who could it be? More than one guest?
It looks like this would be a record for us. Well, no, we had 3 before. It looks like it might be 3. And all I'll say, do you want me to give a hint? It'll make it even harder if I give a hint.
I don't know.
2 men, 1 woman would be the group. I know.
Is it a music thing?
Yep, 2 men, 1 woman.
Is it a music thing?
I said I would give 1 hint.
I don't know. Too sick to guess.
It could be Three's Company, but John Ritter is dead, and that was 2 women, 1 man.
Yeah, that would be interesting if we had a dead guy from an old show on this podcast. And you'd be really excited about the Three's Company cast, one of whom is dead. I know for a fact you'd be so pumped about it.
I would be
incredibly
pumped.
My guess is the Montreal group Men I Trust.
No, I said I wasn't going to give
2 men, 1 woman.
What is that a band?
Yeah, Sugar by Men I Trust was my 5th most streamed song on Spotify. Spotify Wrapped. Happy Rap Day, everyone out there.
Happy Rap Day.
He's just going to give us a little taste of his one at a time every so often for the next month. Start with 5. Sometime you're going to hear 3.
Yep.
Not in order, though.
Just a little inkling.
After that game, we could just go over everybody's different Spotify Wrapped for the first 45 minutes. All right. We have to do this, so we'll do it. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS and brought to you by Briggs Auction, the official auction of the process, briggsauction.com. Big Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. Get yours at bigbarker.com/Ricky. And Stateside Urban Craft Vodka, the official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter with Zoe, statesidevodka.com. On the show today, the Sixers just get fucking totally obliterated in Cleveland. That's one thing. The other thing is it looks like James Harden will return sooner than we all guessed. We will talk about that. I will make Mike distribute minutes for a fully healthy Sixers to see how many everybody gets. And speaking of Mike, there is an angry voicemail and an angry email, both Mike focused in the mailbag. Right.
Good.
I did mention Stateside Vodka. They have a bunch of, look, what better gift for the holiday season than some alcohol from Stateside? Right now at statesidevodka.com, the 1.75 liter bottle is only $39.99. The vodka soda party pack, which is 8 cans, sounds like a party to me, is $8 off. $2 off. I'm sorry, $17.99. And the Stateside vodka soda single flavor 24 pack, which I may opt for so I could avoid the cucumber melon, which I don't like, but I like the other 3 flavors a lot. That one is $6 off, $53.99. Just go to statesidevodka.com. You got to be 21 to drink. We love you, Stateside Vodka. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who's wearing a hat because he is sick. That is one, Mike Levin.
Yeah, I'm sick. And when I'm sick, I'm a little baby.
Oh, are you a little baby when you're sick?
Yeah, a little baby, a little like cartoon baby that like has like the hot tea and just is all just like has the 1920s style cap with the thing coming out of it.
You know what I was hoping earlier? I was wishing that it wasn't the season, because I wonder, are you paying attention at all? Are you aware at all of the FTX thing, the crypto thing that crashed, and this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, like the guy who did it? Like, do you have a general awareness of it?
I mean, yes, very general through headlines type of thing. Not my area of thing I like to care about.
If this were an off-season pod, I would play clip after clip of that guy talking just to get you to react to it.
Oh, cool.
So, well, I hope you feel better soon. Those games like that one, I don't even know what to say.
Oh, I mean,
they look. I know the Cavs hit shots, but there are a lot of open ones. The Sixers looked truly like they couldn't have given less of a fuck.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No fuck. I think there's a line in the movie My Cousin Vinny, which I love, where he goes to the pool hall and tries to negotiate with the guy who ripped off Marissa Tomei.
Yes.
And it's like, you could kick my ass. I could use a good ass kicking. And this is, I think, what it felt like for the Sixers tonight. Of just like they needed an ass kicking. They got one. They'd won 4 in a row.
3 in a row.
Felt like 4. They've been good lately. It's been fine. They beat the Hawks in a nice win. I felt like it was like, look, we got to win one of the Hawks or Cavs games, and then they won the Hawks game, and then they're like, we are showing up drunk to Cleveland.
Yeah.
We are not giving a shit.
Yeah.
And there was just no energy at any point. And then Tobias left because he was sick, I guess. Yeah, just not everyone looks so slow.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. And then Cleveland was hitting shots, and that just accelerated how awful of a game it was. So, but
yeah, Cleveland looked like the Cavs looked like they were having a fucking great time.
Having
if there's a positive to be gleaned from this.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's nice to watch people have fun sometimes.
Yeah, they're having a good time. I truly, honestly, I there's nothing to take from it. There's absolutely this is. I wish I could get the energy up to be pissy about it, but the only thing I took from it. Here are the 2 positives. Can I give you 2 positives?
Sure.
1, our guy PJ Tucker hit 2 3-pointers, which. He hadn't even taken a shot in the previous 2 games, hadn't scored in 5 of 6. So that, and another, I wouldn't say it was a good game from Shake Melton, but he did but I'm trying to find something good. I'm trying to be positive.
Look, we have to posit. It wasn't a good game for him. He was a minus 30. Let's just
well, but they lost by 30.
No, I know.
So
I'm with you. Who are you talking to? I'm the guy that's going to be excited about these Saban Lee minutes.
The one biggest difference aside from his the threes going in or whatever is he finishes at the rim in a way that I have not seen him do in years, really. With a confidence, with a sneak up, get the ball right there on the backboard so they can't block it, or if they do, it's going to be goaltending. He's much craftier. I feel like we had 3 years of him running into the lane with no plan and turning it over or not getting fouled on some bad shot. And it's just nice to see him know what he's doing around the rim. That was the only.
He's always had some run into people thing. That he, to your point, doesn't seem to do anymore, which is nice. But I feel like he's always also had used his length at the rim to finish really close to the rim in those little just snake over the rim type of play off the backboard. I wish we had more guys that just dunked.
Yeah,
I wish we had more guys.
Even Joe,
Joel, of course.
Yeah.
Just fucking dunk. It's basketball. Yeah. If I could dunk, I would be dunking so often. I'd be dunking when I'm sick. I'd be dunking at any point in time. I would be dunking, and we give up points Matisse had a dunk that he turned into a layup that he missed by, off the back rim. It was just like
awful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of those. Matisse did in the Hawks series have a nice lefty scoop layup that he then tried to do a similar thing in this game, and it looked like shit. And the bench was, rightfully surprised by it when it went in Atlanta. But yeah, Shake's good, man. I mean, he's just good. He's just a good player.
And then the highlight for me, and I don't know if you noticed this, and I think it's what happened. It seemed like Joel Embiid tried to throw a lob to PJ Tucker. And it was early in the game. It was like the middle of the first quarter, and he did it. And I was like, wait a minute, what did you think was going to happen there?
I think it was just like he's under the basket, like you can see he'll come down with it, go back up. I don't think it was like he's going to hammer this home type thing. But yeah, I mean, like I do think like there is a lack of
this one.
vertical spacing on this team that it would be nice to have, so that it's just a different kind of spacing that the Sixers really don't utilize. If they had someone, if they had somebody that was like able to catch a lob, like how easy is it for Darius Garland when he comes up and it's like either this is a floater or this is a lob, like what do you want it to be? And it's just so easy for them. Evan Mobley just like right at the rim. Jared Allen when he's healthy, right at the rim. Feel like so many teams have that, and the Sixers just kind of don't. There's a positive in that, like B-ball Paul keeps getting found like cutting to the rim, going inside. So that's nice.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, should we just like move on from it?
The Hawks game was legitimately a good game. It was Embiid's first game back. We haven't done a podcast since Embiid came back. We were worried that it would be a much longer injury. It turned out not to be. So that's good news, and it's good news that they won a game. After it would be so Sixers for them to have a good run with the bench unit, playing against mostly bad teams, the Magic 18 times, and then being like, hey, they're actually surviving, treading water without Embiid. And then Embiid comes back and they like blow a game that they should have won. And it was nice to see them go down and then come back and beat the Hawks. And every Hawks win feels like you're exercising some demons a little bit. And it was just
they were down
nice win all
16, 15, something like that.
16, something like that. I think Tobias had a good game. Shake was doing his thing.
It was great. And then honestly, Joel with a big bucket and then a big defensive play at the end was great. It was
very normal, like game-winning shot of just like, oh, they have DeJounte Murray on me. I'm 8 inches taller than him. I'll just shoot over him. Thank you very much.
Actually, I mentioned before we get off of the Cleveland game, one of I mentioned that there was an anti-Mike email and voicemail. The voicemail came in during the game and was about the game. So I feel like we might as well just do this now, and then we can do the email later. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I've actually done this correctly. The voicemail number is 833 lick face. Nope, of course not. I'm the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. There is not a dumber motherfucker than me.
Put it in the intro, CJ.
Yeah. All right, let's try this again.
Hey, it's Brian from Maryland. This message is directly at Mike. I have no idea how you could watch a game such as this and proclaim Embiid to be the greatest thing ever. He's lazy. He won't get on the low block and post up. He could dominate, average 40 a game, but you get games like this that just make you sit and shake your head. We're not beating the Celtics this year, and you know it.
Now, the best part is
he's so disappointed in me.
He's not able to hang up the phone.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, my dad does that. I don't think my dad's ever hung up a phone. He just expects the other person to hang up the phone.
When I was listening to it, I hope there was something amazing at the end, but there isn't.
He might have just like chucked the phone into his couch.
Yeah. And Mike, your comment?
No, I mean, I've been critical of Embiid. I don't know why. People are gonna hear what they want to hear, but I think it's tough to win in the modern NBA with a big, slowish center like Joel
as your best player.
Your best player. And he so clearly is their best player, and that there are weaknesses that come with that. Yeah, I mean, he looked really slow tonight. He looked really uninterested. His body language was bad. He wasn't really posting up that much. It was a fat game.
You know, it's a shame. The first 5 to 7 minutes, he looked like he was like, I'm going to be the fulcrum of the offense type thing. He was throwing passes, bringing the ball up. He was like doing a little like, he was like, look, I'm Jokic. And he was like, I'm throwing passes and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, it was really, God bless B-Ball Paul. He came in, he got 2 quick buckets, and then the Cavs went on a run, and it felt like they were never able to recover after that. So what are you going to do? Let's get off of this fucking game.
But his point about the Celtics is something that I have been thinking about because they're really, really, really good.
There's no way the Sixers are beating the Celtics, but I mean, there's no chance.
Not specifically Sixers related, but just like the Celtics are. How are they this good? Like they had a coach.
They were in the finals last year.
Well, they have a coach leaving scandal.
Yeah,
that was still not like reported somehow.
Yeah.
They had last year. They had Danny Ainge leave, do the Darryl thing, which is like retire / I'm actually just going to go run this other team, which Darryl did for Houston and for us. And then Brad Stevens goes from coach to GM, first time he's ever done it. And then they hire this Joe Mazzulla, who was a point guard on West Virginia that I liked back in the day. And they're still fucking good, man. It's very upsetting. Like they should be,
especially
they should be in turmoil. There should be some turmoil for them, and there was last year for a little bit, and then they just like figured it out and got it together. How has Marcus Smart been on the team for so goddamn long? And they always are like, we're going to trade him. People are putting him in trades.
He's good.
Not this year. He's just very good. And I think, and Jason Tatum keeps getting fucking better, which kills me. Just absolute nightmare how much better this guy keeps getting.
Oh my God, he's so good. And by the way, here's the fucking craziest thing. Last year, they had the best defense in the NBA. And this year they have the best offense in the NBA, and they still don't have fucking Robert Williams back. So their defense is like pretty good, but like they are.
I think Robert Williams will make their offense worse because of his lack of shooting. But yeah,
but it's certainly another piece, right?
Totally.
And like, yeah,
and they got fucking look. How many times have I said sign Luke Cornett for the Sixers over the years? How many times? A lot.
I told you we were fucked 5 years ago.
Yes, and this is exactly what we were talking about.
Well, I said it wasn't completely what I was talking about, but I did say
there's been 18 regimes since then.
But still have their 2 best players are long wing players, and they still to this day, even though the roster has overturned, they have more like athletic, switchable, do lots of things players than the Sixers ever had. Ever. Like Jason Tatum's been in the conference finals 3 times and the finals once. The Sixers haven't been past the second fucking round. It's unbelievable.
I don't like it. I haven't enjoyed it.
I don't like it at all.
And they got Malcolm Brogdon for nothing.
Yes.
Luke Cornett is good. Like the Sixers having never had a stretch 5. I mean, I guess Mike Muscala, but they really played him as a 4 pretty much here. They just like never had a stretch 5.
Well, and they played Ilyasova as a 4 too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, they did.
It's not a great thing, but you know, aside from this terrible game, this has been a good Sixers run relatively, and Harden's coming back, Embiid's healthy-ish.
So we will talk about the Harden thing in a second. Before that, Big Barker dog beds. We love Big Barker. I will admit something. Now, Big Barker is the only dog bed you should be buying for the health of your dog, for the happiness of your dog. BigBarker.com/Ricky. I will be honest though. My dog Rebel, who I love with all my heart, sleeps on a Big Barker. He has 2 of them actually. But I will admit, when wintertime comes and it gets cold outside, he starts on a Big Barker, but he's up in the bed with me and my wife within 45 minutes in between us, getting warm. I'm going to be honest with you there. But most other times, when it's not cold, he loves his Big Barker. There is a massive difference between Big Barker dog beds and every other dog bed, in that a Big Barker dog bed is a real bed, is a mattress that is made to support your dog's joints and keep your dog healthier. There is a significant difference, not just when you feel it, but when you look at it, you can see the difference. You can see that when a dog lays on a Big Barker, is supported, is kept 5-6 inches off the floor. Whereas a dog sleeps in a dog bed you get at the pet store or whatever for $39.99, sinks right to the ground. You can't be sleeping on the ground. It's not good for you. Dogs develop arthritis just like we do. joints get creaky, just like ours, need a real bed just like you do. BigBarker.com/Ricky is where you go. You get the Big Barker dog bed. You get the Process Pup patches. You send us a photo of your dog on the bed. Put them in the Process Pup gallery. Everybody's happy, happily ever after. Now, it is called Big Barker. They do have sizes up to giant for your huge dog, but they do have the Barker Jr. for small dogs. Rebel's 40 pounds, sleeps on a large. It's perfect. All of this, by the way, about keeping your dog healthier, joint stiffness, range of motion, all those things proven by a study at Penn Vet. There is a 10-year warranty on the Big Barker dog bed. The foam doesn't flatten or they replace it for free. A 1-year at-home trial. If you don't like it, they will give you a full refund and pay for the shipping. It's handmade in the USA. That's right. Big Barker dog beds. All right. So Harden apparently is aiming for Monday as a return in Houston. We got which is sooner, I think, than we thought, for sure. We got a comment on YouTube, and I will lead into the James Harden conversation with this comment on YouTube. Does anyone else just have this doubt in their stomach every time you remember James Harden is on our team and picture the boring, stagnant ISO ball that we play with him and Embiid? I know getting anything for Simmons was a plus, but we've sold everything now to have this group, and I just have a feeling we'll be left at the end of it just wondering what could have been. Now, my question to you is, we have seen more out of Shake. We have seen more out of Melton. Specifically, we have seen much more out of Embiid in Harden's absence. When Harden comes back, do you have any concern that we lose those gains?
I mean, they just got to figure, the coaching staff and the players have to just figure it out. Like, having more good players is good. And
for sure.
It seems like other teams do a decent job of figuring out how to balance it and how to have a functional offense and how to move the ball and how to not feel stagnant. Because the Sixers, when Harden is not there, or when Maxey sits, or when Maxey's not there, whatever, not enough ball handlers.
Yep.
They're not getting into the paint. They're not getting paint touches. They're not driving and kicking. They're not beating guys off the dribble, that kind of thing. So there's got to be a way for them to do all of it. Like, they're just, good teams figure that shit out. So that's on Embiid. That's on all these guys. If they don't, Harden needs to be extremely efficient for this team to be good. He needs to be extremely efficient. He needs to not turn the ball over. He needs to get guys open looks. He needs to get to the rim. He needs to get Embiid open looks. Maxey's got to do his thing and shoot 1,000% from three. And Embiid just has to be like, my point from earlier, if Embiid, if this is the kind of center that you are having as your best player, he has to be so good. And he is very good, but he has to be like, when it counts, when it matters, he has to be fucking dominant. He has to be unstoppable and like pretty mistake free. And this season has to just be about getting to a place where he is playing as perfect offensive basketball as he can in the playoffs, because he's going to have to clean up a lot of messes on defense because people are going to exploit Maxey or Harden. And the offense is going to run through him because there's good wing defenders. No one should be able to stop him one-on-one in the playoffs, except for Brook Lopez, who, again, is the best player I've ever seen.
Continues to get better every single year. It's odd. What was I going to say? I missed it. The thing about this is, like, we talk a lot about coaching and everyone figuring it out. Like, this comes down to two dudes. It does. It comes down to Harden and Embiid. And, like, I said this a few pods ago. You two motherfuckers, like Embiid had the sort of passive-aggressive comment in a post-game thing the other day about when everybody comes back from injury, offense has to run through him. And, like, they're both, even at this stage of Harden's career, they're both too good to not, like, look each other in the eye and figure out how to do this with the entire world not centering around either of them for the entire game. Like, it can't, for Embiid, for his head, it can't be you every time. for a couple of reasons. The number one being, you're not good enough for that on offense. Like you're not a good enough passer. You're not a good enough ball handler. You're too careless with the ball. The ball just it can't go through you every single time. And Harden, I know that Morey has enabled this for your career, and for a portion of your career it worked, but there are too many times, even now, that you just stand there dribbling the air out of the ball and then either step back or oopsing it to somebody else with 2 seconds left on the clock. And there's just like, everyone's got to compromise. The only way this works with great players, this is not the Heatles, right? It's not LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. But at that point, when those guys wanted to win a championship, they all compromised. LeBron posted up, basically played power forward. Chris Bosh stood in the fucking 3-point line after scoring, 28 points a game for the beginning part of his career. Dwayne Wade took a step back. Like, they all did it. When Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce went to win a championship, like, they compromised. These two guys have to compromise. And the other thing is, I understand at one point in your career, James Harden took so much on the offense, so much responsibility offensively, that you could almost make an excuse for him for how bad he was defensively. You'd be like, well, he had so much to do. It's not an accident. I know they were getting better before he got hurt, but it's certainly not accidental that over like the last 2 weeks, the Sixers have had the best defense in the NBA and James Harden isn't on the court. It's not an accident. It's you can absolutely hide a player sometimes, right? But like, you can't have a good enough defense with him just not giving a fuck. And Embiid, like, if you're not getting the ball every single play, you still got to play defense too. And it's just like, it comes down to these two guys. And James Harden has to play some defense. You have to play some defense. And not everybody's going to get, and just those two motherfuckers, like those two guys, if we end this fucking season, truthfully, if we end the season and one of our storylines is they couldn't figure out how to make it work with both of these guys, I am done with fucking both of them. I don't want to see either of them in a Sixers uniform. If they can't fucking figure this out, if they're not good enough, that's fine. It's perfectly fine to be not as good as Milwaukee or not as good as Boston, whatever. Those are two good teams. But if it's like, wow, the other one just fucking stood there the whole time while the other guy was doing offense, unacceptable. Can't have it. Can't have James Harden not playing defense. Can't have Joel Embiid moping around when it's James Harden's turn. Can't have Harden standing around on offense when somebody else has the ball. Like, can't have any of those things. It's too late. James Harden's 34. Embiid is 28. Like 28, right? 29, whatever he is. Like, this is it, guys. This is it. So,
I mean, no, I liked a lot. I liked a lot of that. I think that is the likely scenario, though.
I know. But that's why I bring it up. Because it's like, I watch these fucking games, man. I watch these fucking games, and I have spent 10 years of my life, not only like obviously more than 10 years watching the team, but 10 years watching like every fucking second. So invested in all of this. And just in my gut, I watch it, and I'm like, there was that line in a Keith Pompey article about the two stars that don't fit. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Fuck you guys. If this whole thing is Harden and Embiid don't fit, nope. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, what is the other player who is like, for James Harden, every player you play with can't just be fucking PJ Tucker and Daniel House, who just stand there waiting for you to pass it to them. It can't be. If you want to win a championship, you have to have another player who's good, who does more than that. And Embiid, like, it's the same thing. You can't just be center James Harden. And then you both fucking like moping and I can't have the season end like that, man. I'll fucking die, man. I can't have the season end with this bullshit. Just try hard. Just like, you want to win a championship, right? Like I can understand, like, if one of them got paid and was just like, you know what? I don't really need to. I understand Ben Simmons more than I understand Joel Embiid and James Harden at this point. He's got like $30 million a year. He really just wants to smoke weed and play video games. Like, fuck it. Fine. I would too. I get it. These two guys, you're still playing. You've never won anything. One of you, like James Harden has Daryl Morey walking around saying he's a better offensive player than fucking Michael Jordan, and Joel Embiid trying to be like the heart of the city, like 7-foot Iverson. Fucking do something about it. This is your chance. You may never, for Harden, you may never get a better chance than this as a primary ball player, and for Embiid, you may never get a better chance than this either. Just try. That's all I'm asking you to do is try and like put the fucking ego away for 2 seconds and try. Just try. Just try to figure it out. Have a conversation. Go to dinner. I know you don't like going. I get it, Joel. I don't like going out after fucking 8 o'clock on a weeknight. I hate it. Go to dinner. Just and James, how about this? Go to dinner before fucking 1 a.m. in a strip club, and Joel, put on pair of pants that aren't sweatpants, and you guys go to dinner to a fucking steakhouse. I'll even approve of steakhouse, even though I don't want you to eat meat. Go to steakhouse, sit down, have some of that awful wine. James Harden awful wine, make it.
You're losing the thread. Bring it back. Bring it back.
I want you to sit at a steakhouse and look at each other and say, this season means something to me. And because it means something to me, I am going to stray from what makes me most comfortable, because it will be better for the team. It will be better for my legacy. It will be better for everything. This is not just about me. It is about us. It's about all of it. I want these two fucking guys to look at each other in the eye. You're both here. Like, you look at each other, and James just wanted to get here. That's the story, right? Embiid just finally has a real point guard and blah, blah, blah. Just fucking look at each other and figure it out and try. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, look, I agree. Thank you for carrying the pod while I'm sick.
No problem. No problem. All right. Speaking of James Harden wine, by the way, we'll get to this in the mailbag, but there was a review in the Wall Street Journal of James Harden wine, and amazing. It was not positive.
Oh, come on.
What
couldn't they have liked? There's options for everybody. I'm going to blow my nose on mute while you do the ad.
Little something for everyone. So we post same game parlays every other Sixers game at DraftKings Sportsbook. I love the same game parlay because it's fun. Like, look, obviously, when you put several bets together, there's a lower chance that you're going to hit, but the odds are better, so it's fun. We did the Shake Melton one tonight. It included a Sixers win. It didn't win, but get them next time. That's why, look, you win one, you can lose a couple on the same game parlay. In any case, love DraftKings. Love that they're supporters of us. I think last time I looked, the Sixers championship odds were plus 2,200. And if I could bring Vegas Mike back for 1 second, I know you're sick, Vegas Mike, and you're blowing your nose, but I was going to ask you to give me, if you haven't looked at it, the line on this weekend's Eagles game. The Eagles are at home against the Titans.
Ooh. Eagles, Titans. Let's say Eagles minus 5.5.
Oh, shit, he nailed it. Nailed it.
Bang.
He nailed it.
The flu game.
He nailed it. Vegas Mike. Anyway, DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers, bet $5. Pre-game money line on any NBA team to win their game, and you get $150 in free bets if they win. That's it. Bet $5 if you're new user. Use code RTRS. $5 on the pregame money line on any NBA team to win. You get $150 in free bets if they win. And by the way, if you're listening in Maryland, it is legal now. DraftKings Sportsbook, legal in your state in Maryland. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now to get in on the holiday hoops action. Sign up with code RTRS. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win. Get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code RTRS. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. So we debuted a new segment as on Spotify. You can ask a question on the right below. So right below the player, you can see we ask a question. You can give an answer. So the last question was, who has had a better general manager career, Howie Roseman or Daryl Morey? Like 98% voted Howie Roseman. Some of the comments from Zach. Howie, hands down. He doesn't peddle NFTs or crypto. From Phil, let's be honest, Morey is a one-trick pony, gets Harden and crosses his fingers. Anyway, how do I get body bio in Australia? From Chris, Howie has won a Super Bowl, so it's Howie, even though it's harder to build a championship in the NBA.
98%?
Yeah, I think we only had three Moreys.
Wow.
Here's a Morey one. An underrated Daryl move was drafting Maxey. Sure, you could say he slid and it was an obvious pick, but Daryl still made the choice that 10 of the other GMs who picked 10 to 21 had wished they made.
Yeah.
Now, most of the responses for Howie mentioned the ring. And I just got to say, and you too, you mentioned the ring. He did win a ring, but that is very like when we were talking about like Miami being good enough to winning a championship, not winning a championship, blah, 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 blah. There's sort of like this thing that just being able to win a championship is the same as like winning a championship or whatever. I don't know. A lot of people were giving Roseman credit for the ring, and I think that's a lot more difficult conversation that he obviously gets credit for it. But when you're comparing NFL and NBA, I think that's a harder conversation, actually. Don't you? No?
I'd give anything for a Sixers championship.
Yeah.
So I don't care. I don't care if it be a cheap one or a fluky one or something, whatever. Also, the Eagles are back in contention now, so it's been there's been like a number of things.
Houston, the Rockets were. Oh, and another thing, a lot of this.
And the Rockets were there for a long time, for sure.
Rockets were there for a long time, winning his team in the NBA when he was there. So, whatever. Do you have a?
Do you think Daryl listens to this podcast and hears people thinking it's Howie and goes like, is pissed? Do you think he's mad at us?
So when Amos was on, he remarked about Morey's millennial vocal fry that he talks with. It's just like, yeah. I think if you asked Morey on this pod, he would say that Howie was better GM. I don't think he's pissed about it. I think he has an interesting ego.
He would probably say like, he would probably be like his public facing thing would probably be like, he won a championship, and I haven't, and there you go. Like he'd probably do that.
So Mike, the Spotify question of the pod this time, do you have one? Is it? I was thinking something Harden related.
I come up with the LL taglines, man. I can't be.
Wow.
I can't be troubled to come another thing.
Well,
you give me two things.
CJ, do you have a question for
this would be a great CJ thing. CJ task.
Okay, CJ, get on the pod for a second.
CJ,
do you have a question?
There he is.
I'm looking at Abby's Spotify Wrapped, so I'm a little off guard.
Great.
That's our producer.
Great.
There, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
everybody locked in. The Sixers lost by 1,000.
I'll come up with something good.
Okay, good. CJ's got it. CJ's got it.
Fuck. Man, we're screwed.
We got it. We got it. We're gonna get past second round this year. I feel like we have to
do it right here, though. Don't we have to do it here? I guess we don't. We don't really have to do it here. Check in later for. Okay, so here is we've been talking about that. When Maxey and Harden get back, keeping what do we do with Shake and those minutes and yada yada yada. Somebody, when I said that I wished Tobias Harris played 16 minutes a game, somebody was like, that guy plays 30 minutes on any team in the NBA. And that's actually not true. There's a lot of starters, by the way, that don't play 30 minutes in the NBA. So when you play a regular season game, you have 240 minutes to distribute. And I want to run through real quick and have you distribute Sixers minutes as an average to see, because it's harder than you think. So Embiid, what are we going to say? Like 32?
Get ready for math.
Yeah.
Sure. 32.
Right? That's fair, right? PJ Tucker.
I'm loaded up with Dayquil and I'm ready to do math live on a podcast.
Well, CJ's asking fucking who's got a good question in the chat right now.
Oh, great. This is the right podcast to go off the rails. No one's going to listen. They lost to the freaking Cavs.
No, they listen when they lose. They do. Not as many as when they
all the Celtics fans listening. Hello.
Yes. Cavs fans. PJ Tucker.
24.
Now he's at 28.7 now. So you want him at 24.
I'd like it to be less.
Okay. So 32.
In the same way that Fletcher Cox is a more effective player when he's playing fewer snaps. Shout out Brandon Lee Gouton, my guy.
Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris. Some may call him.
The 33.
Okay. This is optimal. You want Tobias Harris playing 33 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maxey.
36.
And Harden.
34.
Okay. Hold on. Now I'm going to...
Thrilling stuff. We're punching this into the computer. It's calculating.
This is math, buddy. This is math.
Calculating.
So did you want me to tell you how many minutes you have left?
Sure.
Okay. So you've used 159 minutes so far, and you have 81 minutes left to distribute. Great. So let's say, obviously, I think DeAnthony Melton's the best player on the bench.
Well, how many did I say for Embiid? 32?
32.
16 for B-Ball Paul. Let's just put that in right now.
Okay, so none for Trez.
None.
Okay, so 16 for B-Ball Paul.
Have you listened to this podcast?
I know.
At any point in the last few months?
Okay, so 16 for B-Ball Paul. Okay. DeAnthony Melton.
How many do we have left?
Oh, for Christ's sake. 65.
65 big minutes. I'd go 26 for Melton.
Okay.
That gives me 39 left.
Yeah. So let me just double check so I make sure. I just want to be sure. Hold on, this is a good podcast.
Great.
CJ doesn't even have a question. He's asking the chat.
Very good. Very good.
Just one of the just unbelievable. Just
Thrilling
can't even
stuff.
come up with a question. All right, so you have 39 minutes left.
Okay.
Shake Melton.
Go.
Right? Or do you think Niang is next?
I would probably do. How many did I give Tobias?
Tobias, you gave 33.
Yes, I give 15 for Niang.
15 for Niang. Okay. Shake.
I have 24 left, and then probably 14 to Shake, 8 to House, 2 to Matisse.
Okay, hang on. Yeah. So 14 to Shake, 8
This
to
is
House.
Presuming everybody's healthy and stuff.
Yeah.
Although
Matisse.
Matisse is, his offense still comes and goes, but I still like what he gives us sometimes, and I think he.
Do you think
good on
14 minutes is enough for Shake Melton to
I don't know.
thrive? Would you say, could I posit that, I'm not sure if I'm using posit, I want to take away, let me take away 4 Tobias Harris minutes, bring him down to 29.
Okay.
Let me give Shake 18.
Okay. We're taking Tobias's money and giving it to Shake, which I've been saying for years.
And I'm going to take 2 minutes from Maxey and give it to Melton. Get him up to 28.
Great.
I could
got
even...
a rotation.
So right now we got Embiid 32, Tucker 24, Harris 29, Maxey 32, Harden 34. By the way, we figured this out. How is like Maxey playing 38 minutes a game and fucking Harden playing 36 minutes a game? It seems like we have this. I guess people get hurt, right?
Well, people get hurt, but I think also like Doc wants to play those guys, and those guys want to come back in.
CJ, do you have a question for Spotify yet?
Yeah, I got a question. I came up with it entirely myself. I just wrote it down here in the chat for my notes. If possible, which Sixer would you age 5 years so you can de-age one of them 5 years as well? So you add 5 years to someone, and then you could take 5 years off of
this is
another player.
Such a hard question.
I like it because it's also pretty similar to this minutes experiment where we're like giving and take like points.
We're giving and taking. We're doing math.
If possible, so you can. Okay.
I would
for example, take 5 years
age
away.
Maxey 5 years.
I probably wouldn't because I like his juice. I like his speed, and he's already very
juice
good
at
now.
26.
Not as much. I like him now. I think we could get more of a rotation player out of either Julian Champagny or Jaden Springer if you age him 5 years. Give him a little bit more.
That is the most Mike answer.
That's right. Maxey's already good. We got him. He's fine. Let him be young for longer.
Age Maxey and de-age Harden.
I don't want to lose those 5 years. That's like click. It's like Ben Affleck or Sandler and Click. He loses all of his memories and his family misses them. And I don't want to miss that with Maxey. And I'm fine with missing 5 years of Julian Champagne's life.
Sean says, stupid question. Are we going with this one?
Let's do it.
I think
right.
Siege.
Which CJ, you're the
CJ
one that,
by himself.
I'm the one putting it in. So
you have to put it in. You have to put it in. Unless you text me telling me that you can't find it again.
Also worth mentioning, earlier before you mentioned Spencer Hawes in a rant. Spencer Hawes is only 5 years older than Justin Anderson. I thought that
is
how old is Spencer Hawes?
Justin Anderson
34.
played 3 years at Virginia, and Spencer Hawes played 1 at Washington.
He's 34.
Spencer Hawes is 34 years old.
So he's the same age as Harden. He could hit threes.
Harden's 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
Pat has a previous relationship with the team, with me. Come on back, Spence. No,
Rob Smith says in the chat, age Springer, so he's a 25-year-old G Leaguer instead of 20.
No, he'll be good. He'll be good at 25. He'll be good.
All right, before we get to the anti-Mike mailbag, as we like to call it,
kick
Briggs
me while I'm down and sick.
What's that?
Kick me while I'm down and sick.
Well, that's when you're. That's when to attack. It's when to attack.
Okay, that's
fair. It's like
All
going
right.
at a player with an injury.
Attack. Come at my knee. This is wrestling.
Briggs Auction. We love Briggs Auction. 4-generation family-owned and operated auction house in Garnet Valley. Look, here's what I'm going to say about Briggs Auction. First of all, download the app in the App Store or Google Play, BRIGGS Auction, or just go to briggsauction.com. Basically, they have auctions every week, estate auctions, all these. They have everything, collectibles, music instruments, clothing, furniture that you're not going to find anywhere else, classic artwork. I got this sweet, like, fucking Vietnam protest poster from 1969 there. Is awesome. Anyway, if you're looking for a gift for Christmas right now, Hanukkah, go to Briggs Auction. They have 3 auctions going at once right now. One closes December 2nd, one closes December 8th, one closes December 9th. Like they are, Stephen from Briggs was telling me he had a lot of auctions before the end of the year. They have it going right now. I think going through the stuff is just fun. Like it is, I'm sitting on the couch, some bullshit on TV. I go to the Briggs Auction site. They split up every auction by category. I go, let me go to collectibles. What's in there? Let me go to artwork. What's in there? Let me go to furniture. What's in there? I'm telling you, it's fun to look through every week. They have auctions. At this point, for the last few months, they've had every week. It's usually 2-3 times a month. Estate auctions, collectibles auctions. The collectibles, recently there's been 1950 Bowman cards in there. Just a lot of cool stuff you're not going to see anywhere else. Go to briggsauction.com. Here's the good thing. You win one of the auctions on the 2nd, the 8th, or the 9th. There's open pickup on Saturdays. You can just go get it. Or you can do by appointment during the week. They'll work with you. Or if you want to find a shipper, they will work to find a shipper with you. And if you want to auction a bunch of your stuff off, you're downsizing, you're moving to a smaller place, you have a bunch of stuff you think is worth something, they handle all that stuff. info@briggsauction.com. That's info@briggsauction.com. Briggs Auction. Briggs Auction. Briggs Auction. Okay. This email came from Mike. From Mike to Mike. Writes RickySanchez@gmail.com or 833-LickFace. Hello, Ricky friends. Love to you and your families. With that out of the way, if we simply just swapped Embiid for Jokic and kept everything the same, no magic, Embiid medical healing, no horrible Jokic injuries, we'd have a title, right? Jokic never wins because his team is always melting down around him. He's the blazing ball of fire with the melting wax house around him. Embiid is the opposite. We always lose because something stupid always happens to him. Always. It's not Ben's fault, and I'm a noted Ben hater. He's like the Starforge in Avengers, whatever it was that Thor had to restart to make his axe, except Peter Dinklage and Chris Hemsworth are never around to restart him. Just a broken dead star letting us down to be conquered by looming Thanos-level depression every year. Availability is the best ability. Mike is a fraud. He's a false prophet. Prove me wrong.
What an awful email. Horrendous. Get out.
Wow.
Banned.
Well, you banned him.
Banned.
Wow. Okay. Non-basketball question from Mike. Or I can't even ask it, right? Because he's
banned.
He's banned. This comes from Bill.
I'm the only Mike allowed.
This comes from Bill. Spike and Mike, I write with an important and urgent update regarding James Harden's wine. This afternoon, the Wall Street Journal published a detailed breakdown of the wines actually worth buying from NBA stars. While Steph Curry and CJ McCollum's wines were showered with praise, Harden's wine was not so much. Here is the relevant excerpt from the article. Sadly, one of my favorite players, James Harden, by the way, fucking warning sign right there. Why is that your favorite player? Sadly, one of my favorite players, James Harden, offered one of the worst wines of my tasting. The 2021 J. Harden X J. Shed California Cabernet was terrible, confected, and harsh. I was disappointed to learn that Mr. Harden has input on the taste and style of the wine, according to a spokesperson for Accolade Wines. The producer,
Why does my favorite player make bad wine?
The producer of the Harden label. That's
Can
not
you
always
separate the artist from the wine?
Will James Harden ever recover from this financially? Mike, your thoughts?
I want there to be remember J.R. Maley, the guy who did our metaverse investigations?
Of course. Shout out J.R. Maley
of Color Star.
Yeah.
I want there to be some sommelier level wine person that's going to dig in and find that the wine is fraudulent.
Can I tell you, we have a sommelier listener. I will not say her name, though she is a sommelier in one of the 3 biggest cities in the country. And I have asked her to review the wine. I think we need to bring her on.
Sure.
To review the wine.
Great. Next time the Sixers lose by 60.
Yes, I will.
Get on there.
I will reach out to her. 833 Lickface is where you can call us. Voicemail.
Hey, Spike and Mike. This is Impulse on Twitter, or also known as Lockdown Bets. First time calling, long time listener. Basketball question. I forget where we are at with this, but I kind of need to just, since we're talking about it on Twitter, if you could have been on the pod still, would you? Personally, I do hope it can happen one day. Non-basketball question. Also, this has probably come up before, but in the spirit of getting Daryl Morey's attention to make a trade already, what is your favorite musical? Mine is any performance of Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat that doesn't have Donny Osmond in it. Also, one last thing, if I can, on sports betting. As a professional gambler, please follow, I just want to reach out to everyone, please follow Bankroll Management or Unit Management if you are a sports bettor.
Wait a minute. I didn't realize he had a plug in there. No. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't let you plug it. Well, there you go. You just got some plug. So number one, would we have been on the pod? Here's my problem with somebody like that, is that I don't think our audience would accept the way that I would have to handle that. Like, I think on some level, people would be expecting, at least on my end, to be a fucking asshole about it, and wouldn't be an asshole. I would talk to him. I would love to talk to him and ask him honest questions without being confrontational, but very honest questions. I would absolutely have been. He would never come on this podcast, but I would absolutely have been on the pod.
I'd be sweating the whole time. I'd be just drenched in sweat. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, like as it gets further away from when we work together, like I've become obviously more
critical,
willing to criticize him and everything.
Yeah. That was a weird year.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank God that the fucking pass didn't happen during that. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the show might have gotten picked up if it had. That would have been funny as hell.
Yeah.
But I don't know. People like, some people like to be antagonized and like then interact with those people, you know?
But he's not one though.
No, he's not. But like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to being an antagonizer,
right? And
then being confronted by it. Like Jonah Bolden is the only person really that's like gotten on me for anything I've said here.
Did he?
Yeah, and he tweeted at me something. He
oh right, he's a big crypto guy too.
Yeah. It might have been for the crypto. I don't remember. But like, you know, our boy Tommy. Yeah. I don't know if Tommy's upset. If I ever see him, what am I going to say?
We could get Tommy, I think.
I don't know.
Do you want?
I'm not used to the like confrontation.
Old man Old Man and the Three is a DraftKings pod. So I feel like we could get Tommy. You've been particularly harsh to Tommy.
I have.
And do you have a favorite musical?
Mamma Mia 2, Here We Come Again.
Wow.
It's the best.
Wow.
I like a lot of musicals, but that, as far as a movie musical, that is eminently watchable.
My wife, Valerie, loves musicals. We've been to several on Broadway. I don't really like them.
You got to watch Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again.
I liked American Psycho was on Broadway for about a year. We saw that. I did enjoy that. It was pretty cool. Duncan Sheik did the music for it. I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, dude, we saw that Michael Jackson musical, the MJ musical. It's fucking awesome. If anyone if you want to do something in the next couple of months, it was unbelievable. I had a good time in that one, and I like Big Fish. That one closed in about 3 months. I didn't like Newsies. I didn't like Phantom of the Opera. Kind of liked Rock of Ages. I don't like musicals. Final mailbag question. This comes from, where is it? I think you're going to like this one. This comes from Brian. Writes RickySanchez@gmail.com. Tyrese Halliburton has become the go-to supposed alternative to Harden in the Simmons trade saga.
Which we said at the time.
Yes.
At the time, a lot.
But do you think DeJounte Murray was A, ever on the table, and B, is actually the better what-if example? He's improved so much in the most anti-Ben way, including playing off-ball, catching and shooting. His size and defense also make him a better fit to pair with Maxey, and his mid-range game makes him more of a lead ball handler, closer type than Halliburton. I will say, I think he has been, DeJounte Murray in the 5 Hawks games I've watched this year has been like way more impressive to my eye than he was with the Spurs. Like I thought I saw his numbers with the Spurs and watched him on the Spurs. I was like, I don't get it. But he's been cooler to watch on the Hawks. So what do you think? A, do you think he was ever on the table? And B, do you think he would be better than Halliburton?
I think he might have been on the table. Yeah. I think it's a possibility. I think Halliburton is the better player long term and the more like cornerstone-y type piece. I get right now going DeJounte is more playable on defense and would maybe be a better fit with Maxey, like just thinking about it like that. But I think ceiling wise, Halliburton's really good and changes the ecosystem of your offense. And I think that Melton gives you, not much of the creativity that DeJounte does, but like 80% of DeJounte Murray, DeAnthony Melton is on the road to that. Similar type of player, big guard, straight line driver, catch and shoot 3-point shooter. Like Murray's a better, like more creative offensive player and has a little more juice going at the rim, obviously. But Halliburton's really good, man. He's always been good. He's always been exactly this player, and he's just so fun to watch. And it would be like too much joy. Like I would become so. I'm probably corny as it is, in some ways. I'd be so corny watching Maxey and Halliburton like pass to each other and then like high five on the bench, and then Matisse like lifts them both up and they all like do a little dance. Like it would be too much. They'd be so fun, and I would suffer from corniness because of it.
Non-basketball question. Following B-ball, I agree with you. I still just think Halliburton's better. I think like I agree. I understand the fit thing. Certainly understand that. But Halliburton over the next 5 to 7 years is going to be a much better player than DeJounte Murray is. And if Maxey was already like Trae Young level or if you already had like, you're like, ooh, he's the guy, we just need somebody to fit around him, that would be one thing. But like there's a better chance Tyrese Halliburton is better than Tyrese Maxey. So
yeah, I get why you. I think that's fair. I think if you had Trae Young, I get why DeJounte Murray is your pick. But if you with Maxey right now, who's not quite as good, I think Halliburton is the move.
And non-basketball question.
Partially because Maxey's a better defensive player than Trae Young, and profiles to improve more than Trae Young does defensively.
I mean, even just physically, he's got to be a better defensive player than
he will
Trae.
be.
Non-basketball question. Following B-Ball Paul's lead, under what circumstances would you start going by the nicknames Radio Spike and TV Mike?
I'm Vegas Mike.
You are Vegas Mike. All right. Well, we barely talked about the game, but what are you going to do? It
wasn't very good. We got big day for the Ricky Zone Helen Gim announcing her
we've now had
mayoral candidacy.
We've now had a presidential candidate and a mayoral candidate on the pod. So
the official mayor of the Ricky.
Yeah.
Helen Gim.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, Helen. She's
trying to get me to move back to Philly so I can vote for her. Her and my mom. Don't think it's gonna happen, but it'd be more likely if Helen wins.
Well, you didn't even live in Philly. You lived in fucking Bucks County.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I moved back, I would live in Philly.
Right.
Good for her.
And thanks to everybody. We were talking about this during Filter In. Spotify, the Spotify Wrapped thing, everybody gets, and the people who have us in their top 5 of podcasts to listen to that end up tweeting it out or putting it on Instagram is absolutely awesome. I truly appreciate it. And my favorite one today, we did 6,200 minutes of podcast this in 2022.
It feels like more.
Yeah, it does. That number feels low. And we asked on Twitter, hey, whoever listened to the podcast the most will get a t-shirt. Now, again, we did 6,200 minutes of podcasts. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ben_Wiener03, who has listened in 2022 to 10,854 minutes of the pod. By the way,
hard to do.
Are you
listening on like 0.5 speed?
And then also thanks to William Lohan, who said he edged me out, tweeted out his screenshot, who listened to 10,683 minutes of the Ricky this year. Both 4,000 minutes than we actually did. They're listening to podcasts more than once. They're listening to old podcasts. I thank you.
Surreal.
It's really cool. Thank you. We got a lot of cool, just cool data about the pod today, and it was nice to see. So thank you.
Cool data, big data ep. Today.
Love data. So when are we bringing the FTX guy on?
Perfect. We'll be fully prepared. CJ, what is your second number 2 Spotify Wrapped song? Hit us with it. Tell us.
She Needs Him by Hers.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I thought they gave you the top 5 artists and the number 1 song. They give you the top 5
songs.
Give
you all the songs.
They give you every piece.
I don't get any of it. Do you have to pay for Spotify to do it? Alyssa pays for Spotify. I don't.
I pay for Spotify.
So there it is.
My top 5.
You also get a playlist of your top 100 plus songs that you can just go and count.
There it is. My top songs.
I don't know how to get it.
My top song is.
You need to pay to get that information.
That's it.
My top song is American Teenager by Ethel Cain. And my number 5 song is Complete Mess by 5 Seconds of Summer.
Okay. How many minutes? This is sort of a CJ thing.
Sorry. You're right. I was excited that the list was there. I didn't know the list was there.
No, I know, but it's really CJ's thing.
Okay. How many minutes number 5 was what?
How many minutes did you have?
Do you really want to know how many minutes?
Yeah. Okay. I had 92,000, so I'm trying to
hold on.
Put myself up against.
I think 49,000. In 2022, your playtime was 49,614 minutes. That's more than 92% of other listeners.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
And my number 1 podcast was White Noise, because I sleep with rain, and it's listed as a podcast. So
pretty good. A lot of good takes.
We will talk to you this weekend, perhaps with special guests that I have to tell CJ and Mike about that CJ and Mike don't know about yet. So, that's it. We'll talk to you this weekend. Tonight's game didn't happen. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah. Like face.